Good morning. We've got our crock pot and I've got it lined with a liner. I know some people don't like liners, but that's okay. Don't use one then. And then I'm going to add some water to it, just a second. Okay, I add about this much water. Keeps it from sticking to the sides and I don't know, just helps the flow better. And then I have broth at the end. So I'm gonna set this on. I'm gonna set it on high today, and I'll come back every 45 minutes to an hour and chop it up. Got my coffee. It's shenanigans to watch. I'm watching my own wrestling in my backyard. It's like WWF has come to life. Get him, girl. Get him, Callie. Get him, girl. The girl is the red one. That's Callie. She's tearing him up. Up, break time. I cut all the bones out of the assorted pork chops. Here's some of them. Let me show you what I did with the rest of them. I've got him separated in the living room, and he's eating one. I have these two separated from the others. These two are pretty chill. Yeah, he's eating on my bed, but whatever. These two won't fight. This is the food aggressive one, so he's out there. He can come in through the dog door, and I've got all the gates so nobody can go bug each other. So that's what I'm doing with half of the bone. But what you could do is make some good bone broth if that's your thing. I don't drink bone broth, but that's another option that you could do is bone broth. Okay, so I got some bacon grease. I have no idea how long you can use it, but it doesn't smell rancid. I keep it in my refrigerator, and still good. We got old Bertha out, big Bertha here. So I'm gonna heat up the bacon grease, and I put the pork, I cut out the bone like I showed you that I did, and then I've seasoned it. I've already seasoned it, so I'm just going to put it in. And I seasoned it with adobo, Lawry's adobo. I've seasoned it with all-purpose Greek seasoning and some Dano's spicy. So that's what I've seasoned them with. Now let's get the show on the road here. I cut them into smaller pieces, so that'll make it easier to fit them in the skillet. The dogs have finished their bones, so now they're going to be under me looking for more something. They're saying, give us more, give us more. All right. I'm going to leave these in for 4 minutes. And then I'm going to cover them also. So one of the ways that I save money and, with eating meat is I look for the yellow stickers on, go to Walmart early on your way to work, leave 30 minutes early or whatever, and go into Walmart, especially in the morning, and you'll see those yellow stickers because it's the sell-by date, and they put all that stuff out in the morning. And so the earlier you can go in the day, the better chance you have to finding it. So whether you go on a Saturday morning, Sunday morning, weekday morning, but look for those yellow stickers because those pork chops, and you've seen it on a lot of my stuff. I can't hold it up, it'll rip, but like here's an example. That yellow sticker. When you walk through Walmart in the meat section, look for those yellow stickers. I'm not picky about what kind of meat I buy. I just look for that yellow sticker other than my, main staples like my 93% ground beef. But once I get to my goal, I'm not going to care. I'm just going to want any kind of meat that I can find. So those yellow stickers are very important if you're looking to save money. Hey, so off camera, I'm going to be cutting up some stuff. My coworker, her dad had green and red peppers, tomatoes, and banana peppers. So I'm going to be chopping these up off camera. 4 minutes is up, so I'm going to flip these. I'm going to do 4 more minutes. Okay, those are done. So I'll pull them out and put them into here. And when they're all done, I will cut them up into bite-sized pieces and put them in servings that match my calories. So I'll finish these up and get back to you with the next thing after that. The pork is done. Now we're going to do our top sirloin steak. I'm just going to leave the leftover liquid from the pork in there because I think that will taste amazing. It's got the seasonings as well as the baked on, that fond that's down in the bottom. And a little bit of bacon grease. So I'll cover this. We'll do 3 minutes. It's kind of thick, but not super thick. I don't want it overdone. So we'll do 3 minutes. Okay. I'm going to flip the steak. You know, I realized I didn't even add any seasoning to it. That's kind of not very bright. I'm going to leave the lid off of it. And let's see here. I got this. Okay. I'm going to put some onion salt on it. It's going to have a little of the seasoning that's in that liquid that's down in there. So there's some onion salt, some smoked paprika, and some adobo. Now I'll set the timer for another 3 minutes and I'll come back to you. It is not going to be seared because you see all that liquid, but that's okay. I don't need all that fancy stuff. Okay, it's been 3 minutes. I'm going to flip it and I'm going to go ahead and add seasoning to this side. Let it go 1 more minute. Can't believe I didn't season it at all. But that's all right. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. And since I have a whole week's worth of food, I really only need another 7 days worth. So we'll see, which is 14 meals. So we'll see if we get enough this. And then after this, I've got the carnitas. So I'm going to do this for 1 more minute. And then I do not know what the difference is, but carne picada, that's what it's called. So we'll see what carne picada is. Okay, I'm going to pull this big old steak out. That's how it looks up close. So I got to cut all this meat up, but I've been cutting up vegetables. So that hasn't been what I've been focused on. Now just a second, all right, this is carne picada. No clue. I don't know. I probably bought it before, but I don't even. It says sliced thin. I don't. That's what I was thinking. It really is kind of like not ground meat, but like chopped up meat is what it reminds me of. Because see, it just kind of crumbles apart. For that, I'm going to use this tool. At least for now, to kind of break it up. I'm going to kind of cook this like I would cook ground beef, you know, just kind of let it cook. And not get too carried away with seasoning since it's got all that good stuff on the bottom. So I'm gonna just brown all this up and I'll show you when it's done. It's as done as I'm gonna get it. And you might not be able to see that here, there, let me zoom in, you can see the texture. So see how it's little bits? That's not like ground beef, it's just like chopped up, I don't know, minced maybe? I don't know what you call that. But anyway, so that's the texture of the carne picada. And now I'm gonna put it into that little bowl right there. There's the carne picada. So now I'm gonna work on getting things served up, you know, into my little servings. I'm doing 7 ounces of pork because I'll eat that for supper. This one, I had to end up adding a little bit of steak to make it a full 7 ounces. So all my suppers are gonna be 7 ounces of pork. Here's the end of the meat portion. These are the 6 ounces. These are the suppers. So this is all 7 ounces of pork. These are all 6 ounces of 93% and 6 ounces of an 80-20. So whether it's steak or carne picada, those will be my lunches. These will be my suppers. I've not added veggies yet. I'll get to that stage later. Now to my, I don't know, my experiment. A coworker, her dad made some salsa and he has a garden. So she brought a whole bunch of cherry tomatoes. So and she had cherry tomatoes, green and red peppers, and what are those things? Banana peppers. So I chopped it all up in a rough chop. And I added some frozen onions. I don't know, it might have been a cup. So I think like a lot of the recipes I saw online were cooked or were raw salsa, but I want to cook it a little bit. I never made salsa. I added about, I don't know, a couple pinches of salt, and then I used this liquid stevia. I ain't saying it's good or bad or right or wrong. I just went psh, and then that's how much of that I added. I'm gonna put in a little bit of chili powder. Again, I haven't made salsa, so I'm just winging it because my coworker has not given me her dad's recipe yet. It was amazing, but I know he had sugar in it. So freeze-dried chives, because why not? So I'll put about that much in. I don't have any natural ingredients. This is kind of a winging it kind of thing. I'm going to put a little bit of Southwest Chipotle Mrs. Dash. I have my Bertha. Bertha is in the oven, Big Bertha. I washed her and she's like in the oven, and oh, that's why my timer was set. So I'm going to let her be in there and let it dry and open up, and then I'm going to re-season her because it's been a while since I've seasoned it. I'm going to add some parsley flakes. I don't know. This stuff never comes out very easily. Hang on. Here. About that much. Might need more salt when I'm done. This is some crushed red pepper. Give it a little spice. And then cilantro. See how that goes. And then I'm going to put in some of this, that freeze-dried garlic that I've had for a little while. I don't know about that much. I can't tell you if this is going to taste good. Might need more of something or less of something, and I'll never know what it is because, you know, it's me and my taste buds aren't the most well adapted. I'm going to kind of give it all a good stir. I'm going to let it simmer. Let's just give it a taste before I talk about time and stuff, how long. needs more salt. Where's the salt? There we go. You know, I've talked about maintenance. When I go on maintenance, I'm going to focus on the meats and make sure the meat count, the calories are right in the meat. And then I'm probably going to not count hard on the veggies because I don't want to have to count forever. I'll just know that I could have 2 servings of veggies with the amount of meat I have, you know what I mean? So it's kind of what I've been thinking about is as long as I know the meats are okay, if I have 2 to 3, even 4 servings of vegetables, it's not going to make me gain my weight back. That's better. Alright, so I'm going to let this simmer for, it's a good thing nobody else is eating this. I'm just licking the spoon. How much time does this have? It has about 35 minutes. So I'm going to let this sit while Bertha is, you know, warming up for me to season her. I'm going to let this simmer for 35 minutes. Alright, so here it is. It's cooked. All the flavors have bonded together. Let me bring it up closer for you. That's it. Super chunky salsa. Well, my version. Yeah, let me pull a little bite out. I'm going to set it over here to cool. Yeah, it could do a little more salt, but it's okay. I experimented. This is about 60 grams. And I think the tomatoes is the most, has the highest carb amount of all this stuff. So 60 grams of this is, was 11 calories and 1.5 carbs. So I'm going to make up a bunch of these little containers and I'm going to put some in the fridge and some in the freezer, and I'll pull them out with my rotation like I usually do in my regular food. And I'm going to let this cool down and then I'll put it in these little containers, and I'm going to put this on some of my breakfast. I think that will be delicious. Anyway, so I'm going to make up a bunch of these and you'll be seeing these throughout the week. Hey, in case this is your first meal prep video with me, typically I put my meat in one of these and I open up one of these frozen vegetables bags and I put in 2 servings of vegetables into the container and I put it in the freezer. I don't cook it. I don't do anything to it. It just goes straight into my freezer with the meat, and then it defrosts with the meat as I do my rotation. And then it gets microwaved with whatever seasonings I put on it for the day. But like I said, I already have a week's worth of these made up. So since I'm picking up some jicama this next week, I'm going to do some fun things with that. So that's what I know. I just wanted to let you know. So, okay, that's the end. I lied. That's how many of those little homemade salsas that I have that I'll be taking this week. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. It made 11 of them. And each one, like I said, is about 25 calories and about 2 carbs.